evening, darlings, and welcome to episode 20 of Greenwood Talks. You'll notice I'm very casual today because I actually took a vacation for myself. I just sort of needed it after everything going on. And lo and behold, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I haven't done this in years, but I sort of found it cleaning up some of Legolas's stuff to put into storage, and I don't think he's ever worn this ever. It still had the tags on it. So I'm sort of taking advantage of the fact that he doesn't seem to care or notice that it's gone, so it's all mine for now. Anyhow, let me just get straight into our question for the day. So it says, Lord Thranduil, I noticed that you always have a sort of grace under pressure. I was wondering if you could share some of your tips on how to stay cool during stressful situations. I am much in need of some advice. Thank you very much in advance, a hobbit in need. Well, darling, I will certainly help as much as I can. Let's see. There's a lot of tricks out there, and certainly this is just going to be sort of what I use personally. I don't sort of have a problem sort of getting upset to begin with. It's not sort of in my personality, and of course that can play a big sort of part of things. But even if you're sort of a calm person by nature, there's still those situations, of course, that's just going to drive you absolutely mad. So in those sorts of situations, or just in situations where I don't particularly like what's going on, but I'm trying to sort of ease things along in the way that I want them to go, I always smile, darling, always smile. And it seems sort of strange, to smile when you're upset. I do know that for some people it is sort of a stress reaction, but I find that by doing it, it sort of makes me feel a little more positive about it. I don't know what sort of psychologically it does. I'm sure there's some explanation behind that. But I just find the other person involved, if there's other people involved, there's always someone else involved when there's stress, isn't there, though, darlings? I find that they tend to find it less sort of stressful themselves. There's less of that sort of defensiveness, even if you're sort of grimacing, because they see sort of that you're making an effort to try to stay positive. And for some people, they don't even have the social grace to realize that you're not just genuinely smiling. I can't even speak, darlings. I've been having such a nice, pleasant time off. But yes, so always smile, even when you absolutely want to murder the person. It's just absolutely brilliant, to do. It just keeps me very sort of able to focus on where I'm going, and then I don't have to sort of worry about how they're reading my reaction, because you can tell on their face. And what else is good? Breathing exercises, if you're not sort of having a moment one-on-one or sort of in a group. If there's time that you can sort of take a break yourself from the stressor, then I would say breathing exercises are very, very good, darling. I really do recommend them. Sort of give yourself a chance to lower your heart rate and your blood pressure by doing it. If meditation works for you, I know some people it doesn't work for, but if you can do meditation, sort of it's the same principle, that breathing exercise to keep your blood pressure reduced. If you know sort of a stressful situation is coming up, I try to make sure to do some exercise. There's something about that, and I'm sure there's a million studies out there that would sort of explain this. I can't really recall because I don't really feel like getting into all of this right now, darling. I'm on vacation, but there's something about it that sort of, I don't know if it's the endorphins or whatever else it is, but it sort of puts me in a little bit better mood. And I find if I'm in a better mood to start, sort of the smaller things tend to bother me less. Even if I know that there's sort of something coming, being able to brace myself and put myself in the right headspace does help an awful lot. And similarly, sort of making sure that you can get as much rest as you can. When you're sort of sleep deprived, you get a little more easily irritable. And then eating well. I try to make sure that the week before a stressful meeting, that I do try to make sure that I'm getting the best I can into my body, so that I'm giving myself every opportunity not to have any issues. And I know it's going to be stressful anyhow, so I might as well not sort of add to it and make my body more stressed than it's going to be. And of course, darling, I have to recommend this, but a bottle of wine does wonders, absolute wonders, darling. I always recommend a bottle of wine. sort of before, if you can during, and then of course afterwards. It just, you know, apply liberally as needed. But I do thank you. I don't know that I sort of have a grace, although of course I love the expression. But I do find that I sort of, over the years, as I've gotten older, and sort of am able to understand from more people's perspectives, I am genuinely just more calm in general about sort of any situation. There are still those things that upset me, and we're not even going to mention them because I'm on vacation. I'm trying to stay as relaxed as I can because, you know, it's going to be stressful come another few days. So I'm trying to practice what I preach here, darling. I have my drink, and I'm probably going to listen to some music and dance while I'm doing some cleaning, and then, you know, just sort of take it from there. So, darling, I hope some of this is helpful. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of things online or sort of in books out there, and of course everyone has their sort of little tricks that work for them. And just sort of keep positive. Do the 5 things. If you haven't seen my videos where I've talked about it before, just before you go to bed every night, just say or write down 5 things that you're grateful for that happened that day, and they can be very small, and it sort of, again, it puts you in a more positive headspace, and I think it sort of helps over time. So I recommend all of that for you. I hope some of it works, darling, and best of luck on whatever it is that's causing you stress. Ta-ta, darling.